Imagine a time when the fate of Christendom hung precariously in the balance. Picture vast armies marching across continents driven by faith and a thirst for glory. This was the age of the Crusades, a brutal and bloody epic that pitted Christian Europe against the Islamic East in a struggle for the soul of the Holy Land. For centuries, the lands of the Bible where Jesus walked and preached had been under Muslim control. To Christians, this was an intolerable affront. Then, in the 11th century, a call to arms echoed across Europe. Pope Urban II, a spiritual leader of immense power, urged Christendom to liberate Jerusalem from Islamic rule. Thus began the Crusades, a series of holy wars that would rage for centuries and forever alter the course of history. From the sun-baked plains of the Holy Land to the glittering courts of Europe, the Crusades were a clash of civilizations, a titanic struggle fueled by religious fervor, political ambition, and economic greed. These wars would leave an indelible mark on both East and West, shaping the destinies of nations and the very fabric of Western civilization. Join us as we delve into the heart of this tumultuous era, exploring the epic battles, the iconic figures, and the enduring legacy of the Crusades. The Crusades did not erupt overnight. They were the culmination of centuries of simmering tensions between the Christian West and the Islamic East. At the heart of this conflict lay Jerusalem, a city sacred to Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. In the 7th century, Muslim armies conquered Jerusalem, incorporating it into the expanding Islamic Empire. Stories of persecution and abuse fueled outrage among Christians. The call for a crusade was also fueled by political and economic factors. The Byzantine emperor appealed to the Pope for military aid, hoping to enlist Western knights. Ambitious nobles saw the Crusades as an opportunity for land, wealth, and glory. With religious zeal, political expediency, and economic ambition, the stage was set for a clash of civilizations. The First Crusade, launched in 1095, was a testament to the power of religious fervor. Inspired by Pope Urban II's call to arms, tens of thousands of people, from humble peasants to powerful knights, embarked on a perilous journey to the east. Fueled by faith and a thirst for adventure, they faced hunger, disease, and fierce opposition on their epic march. The capture of Jerusalem in 1099 was a defining moment of the First Crusade. After a brutal siege, Crusader forces stormed the city, their victory marked by widespread bloodshed and brutality. The Crusaders, believing they were reclaiming the Holy Land for Christendom, showed little mercy to the city's Muslim and Jewish inhabitants. The establishment of Crusader states in the aftermath of the First Crusade marked a turning point in the history of the region. For a time, Christian control of Jerusalem seemed secure, yet the victory was short-lived. The Muslim world, initially caught off guard by the ferocity of the Crusader assault, would soon rally to reclaim their lost lands. The Crusades were a clash of civilizations, but they were also shaped by the actions of extraordinary individuals, both Christian and Muslim, whose names still resonate through history. One such figure was Pope Urban II, the fiery pontiff who launched the First Crusade. A master orator, Urban skillfully channeled the religious fervor of his time, transforming what began as a plea for military aid into a holy war for the liberation of Jerusalem. On the Muslim side, no figure looms larger than Saladin, the Kurdish sultan who rose to become the champion of Islamic resistance against the Crusaders. A brilliant military strategist and a man renowned for his chivalry and sense of justice, Saladin recaptured Jerusalem in 1187, dealing a crushing blow to Christian ambitions in the Holy Land. Richard I of England, known as Richard the Lionheart, was another key figure in the Crusades. A fearless warrior and a shrewd military commander, Richard led the Third Crusade, achieving several victories against Saladin's forces. Though he failed to recapture Jerusalem, Richard's military exploits and his chivalrous conduct in battle made him a legendary figure in both Europe and the Middle East. These are just a few of the many individuals, both great and infamous, who shaped the course of the Crusades. The initial Crusader victories proved ephemeral. The Muslim world, deeply shocked by the loss of Jerusalem, began to unify under charismatic leaders like Saladin. Driven by a potent mix of religious fervor and a desire to expel the European invaders, Muslim armies gradually regained the initiative. The fall of Jerusalem to Saladin in 1187 marked a turning point in the Crusades. The Muslim victory sent shockwaves through Europe, prompting the launch of the Third Crusade, led by Richard the Lionheart and other European monarchs. Despite some early successes, the Third Crusade failed to recapture Jerusalem, highlighting the waning strength of the Crusader presence in the Holy Land. Internal divisions and a loss of purpose further weakened the Crusader states. Later Crusades, often plagued by poor leadership, inadequate resources, and shifting alliances, failed to achieve their objectives. By the late 13th century, the Crusader presence in the Middle East had been reduced to a few isolated strongholds. The tide had turned, and the era of Crusader dominance was drawing to a close. The Crusades, though ultimately a failed endeavor for the Christians, left an indelible mark on both Europe and the Middle East. In Europe, the Crusades fueled the rise of powerful monarchs, spurred trade and cultural exchange, and contributed to the growth of cities. Exposure to Islamic learning, particularly in the fields of mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, helped spark the European Renaissance. However, the Crusades also had a darker side. They fostered religious intolerance and led to the persecution of Jews and other minority groups. The Crusades also drained European resources and left a legacy of bitterness and mistrust between Christians and Muslims. In the Middle East, the Crusades had a profound impact on the political and religious landscape. The Muslim world, initially on the defensive, experienced a resurgence of unity and purpose. The Crusades also led to the displacement of populations and the destruction of countless cultural treasures. The legacy of the Crusades continues to resonate in the Middle East, serving as a potent symbol of Western aggression and interference. The Crusades, a turbulent period of religious warfare, left an indelible mark on the course of history. Though the Crusaders ultimately failed to achieve their objective of holding the Holy Land, their actions had far-reaching consequences that continue to shape the world today. The Crusades serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of religious extremism and the destructive power of intolerance. They remind us that even with noble intentions, the path to hell is often paved with good intentions. The Crusades also highlight the complexities of history, challenging us to look beyond simplistic narratives of good versus evil. Yet the Crusades also offer valuable lessons about the importance of cultural exchange, the power of ideas, and the enduring human spirit in the face of adversity. As we grapple with the challenges of our own time, understanding the legacy of the Crusades can provide valuable insights into the complexities of the human condition and the enduring power of faith, conflict, and the search for meaning in a turbulent world.